Welcome back to Cooking with Fire. We're here at Firehouse 2. My name is Meredith Shelton and I'm with the Fitchburg Fire Department. Here today with Kara Hare, dietitian with the Fitchburg Hy-Vee. Yep. And today we're making a 3-bean farro chili.
That's right.
All right.
Yes. So thanks again for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
And today we're going to do a chili, but it's actually a vegetarian chili. So just something, we have obviously 3 beans, so we get plenty of protein through that.
Fantastic.
Lots of fiber, goodness, lots of flavor. So you don't necessarily need the meat in order to have a really good chili.
Great.
So in order to get started today, we just have a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
We're gonna put that in the pan, and you're more than welcome at home. You can maybe start getting that heated up and then add in the chopped up vegetables after this is warmed up. But we're just gonna go ahead and get it all right into the bowl right to get started.
Okay.
So we have some butternut squash. That's 1 butternut squash that I've already chopped up. And really it doesn't have to be a particular size. The smaller the pieces, the faster it'll cook.
Sure.
So,
okay.
And that's a yellow bell pepper. Nice sweetness. And then 1 onion. And then 1 jalapeno. So that's where you'll get a little bit of spice in there.
Fantastic.
And if you are sensitive to spice, just bring it down to maybe half a jalapeno or something like that. Really easy to adjust. So we're gonna take this over to the stove and just get this cooking.
Great.
So now the onion's getting really translucent. So I'm just gonna add in some garlic here. Quite a bit of garlic, about 5 teaspoons of garlic.
Sounds great.
I'm just gonna bring it over here to finish adding everything back in.
Okay.
And really this is where you just dump everything in. So don't let the long ingredient list on the recipe scare you. It's really just pantry staples, not too many ingredients here that are foreign. So we're gonna add in, these are already drained, but a can of black beans. And that's the 1 bean. And then we have pinto beans. It's the 2nd bean. And then the 3rd bean is kidney beans. And these are all no salt added. You really don't need to have that extra salt from the beans, just because the vegetable stock will have a little bit in it anyway.
Okay.
And then we have diced tomatoes.
Okay, so you didn't drain these, I see.
Not drained.
Okay.
And then go ahead and add in all of the vegetable stock. You can add about 4 to 5 cups of the vegetable stock.
It doesn't pour quickly out of this container.
Right. And you can use no salt added for this one as well. I would suggest then maybe increasing the amount of spices that you use.
Okay.
If that's the case. And then maybe the thing that you haven't had before, I don't know if you're familiar with it, is farro. And it's an ancient grain, it's a whole grain. And it's probably one of my favorite grains actually, just because it gives it a nice nutty flavor. It has a little chew to it. And you can use it in any recipe that calls for rice or quinoa, just replace it with that farro. And this is already pre-cooked. So what you do is you just cook about 3/4 of a cup in water, just like you would rice, and then you drain off any excess water after it's tender. So then you just add those in, and then let's add in the spices.
Okay.
We have the tomato paste.
Tomato paste too, okay.
Yep. And that's a couple tablespoons there. Gives a good depth of flavor.
Maybe.
Perfect. And then the spices, we have oregano. It's a little bit different of spice mix for the chili. Cumin. And then a little bit of cayenne just to give it a little touch of heat.
Okay.
And that's really all it is. So you get a really great flavor just with that, all those spices, but then a lot of good textures too with the farro and the vegetables in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the beans. So, all right. So now all these are mixed in. We're going to take it back to the stove and just let it simmer for a good 20 minutes or so. And now a little surprise. It's not quite done yet. It could be done, but we're going to make it even better. We're actually going to add a secret ingredient, and that's chocolate.
Interesting.
So you don't often hear of that almost ever added into chili, but it's an 85% dark chocolate. So very, very dark. It's really not adding sweetness. It's just adding a really nice depth of flavor.
Okay.
So what we're
Interesting.
and you can use any kind of dark chocolate, just as long as it is like 85% or higher. I would say. The darker the better. And it's going to be, because it's so dark, it's just going to be really hard and crisp like that.
Yep.
So the milk chocolate you're going to have, it's a little bit softer, obviously.
Sure.
So this one's going to break a little bit more like a crack.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to cut this into roughly sized pieces.
Okay.
And then add that in, and really just want to stir it around so it gets all melted together.
Okay.
So it goes pretty quickly with the hot soup. This will really get the kids excited about
Oh,
this
absolutely, yeah.
chili. Okay, and then I just have some red wine vinegar.
Okay.
And this is just going to add a little brightness. So a lot of times with chili, it can get a little just heavy or dark, and that will just brighten it up a little bit.
Okay,
And
great.
then just salt and pepper. We'll add that in. And let me just stir. The chocolate's already melting.
Super. Oh, yeah.
And we'll stir that up. So then really that's all that is to it. We can just go and simmer this a little bit longer on the stove just until that butternut squash is completely tender.
Okay.
And then once the butternut squash is tender and the chocolate's all the way melted through, then we can go ahead and eat it.
That sounds great. I look forward to it.
Nice and hearty, good for a cold day.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and it smells fantastic with that chocolate in there.
Yeah.
It really does smell fantastic.
Let's see how it tastes.
Oh, yeah. Very hearty.
Good
Yep.
texture. The Farro just really gives it a good chew, but
Yep. A
something
little
different.
heat coming in.
Yep, there you go.
So that's good. Another great option. Still really easy. Again, don't let the long ingredient list fool you. Really simple product. So another great option for a cold night dinner. Thank you very much, Kara.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.